Today, we're talking about the 3 worst mistakes a man makes to be romantic in a relationship. Have you ever put in all the effort, gifts, texts, grand gestures, and still feel like you're missing the mark? What if everything you're doing is actually pushing her away? The stakes are high, one wrong move, and your chance at true connection might be slipping away. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal not only what these 3 mistakes are, but also share the unique strategies I've learned through personal experience and from trusted mentors to transform your approach to romance. Romance isn't just about buying expensive gifts or saying the right things. It's about connecting on a deep emotional level. Today's video breaks down the 3 worst mistakes men make when trying to be romantic and explains how these errors can sabotage even your best intentions. I'll also share my own origin story, how I struggled with these pitfalls until I discovered a genuine path to connection, and reveal the insider language and strategies that set successful relationships apart. Mistake number 1: overcompensating with material gifts. Meet Alex, a guy who was all about going big in love. He believed that if he spent more, his girlfriend would love him more. Surprise vacations, designer bags, flowers every other day. He spared no expense. At first, his girlfriend seemed happy, but over time, something changed. She started to withdraw. The more he gifted, the more distant she became. One night, after another extravagant dinner at a 5-star restaurant, she sighed and said, "Do you even know what my favorite meal is?" That hit Alex like a truck. He had spent months trying to impress her with luxury, but he had never taken the time to truly understand her. What did Alex want? Deep down, he wanted love, connection, and appreciation. He thought money and gifts would make her feel special and prove his worth as a partner. Why couldn't he get it? Because he was mistaking material gestures for emotional intimacy. To him, love meant showing up with gifts, but to her, love meant showing up for real conversations, shared laughter, and being present in the moment. If Alex continued down this path, his relationship would become purely transactional. She might stay, but not because of love, because of obligation. And eventually, the emptiness would push them apart. One day, he opened up to a mentor, an older friend who had been married for 15 years. The mentor smiled and said, "True romance isn't purchased, it's earned through genuine moments." He explained that the most meaningful gestures aren't the grand ones, but the intentional ones. A handwritten letter, a deep, uninterrupted conversation, making her favorite coffee just the way she likes it. Alex decided to test this. Instead of planning another luxury trip, he invited her to a simple home-cooked meal. He didn't try to impress her, he just showed up as himself. They spent the night talking, laughing, and reminiscing. For the first time in months, she leaned in, held his hand, and said, "This is the best night we've had in a long time." That was the moment Alex realized love isn't measured in price tags but in presence. I remember when I used to think that expensive dinners and fancy presents would solve my problems too. I thought if I just bought my way into someone's heart, they'd stay. But I learned the hard way that connection and presence speak louder than price tags. It's the real, raw moments that build trust. If you think love can be bought, you're missing the bigger picture. Love isn't in the gift, it's in the thought behind it. The time, the effort, the moments of pure, undistracted connection. That's what makes someone feel truly cherished. Mistake number 2: being predictably needy. Meet Ben, a devoted, caring, and affectionate guy. The type who would drop everything at a moment's notice just to be available for his girlfriend. He was always the first to text, the first to plan every date, and the one who never disagreed in a conversation. At first, his girlfriend appreciated his attentiveness, but over time something shifted. She started taking longer to reply. She seemed less excited about their dates. The connection that once felt effortless now felt forced. One day, after planning yet another weekend getaway, one she barely reacted to, Ben asked her, "Are you not happy anymore?" She hesitated and finally said, "It's not that I'm unhappy. It's just that everything is so predictable. There's no space to miss you." That hit hard. What did Ben want? Ben craved closeness. He wanted to be the best boyfriend possible, to show his love in every way, every day. But deep down, he also sought constant reassurance that he was enough. Why couldn't he get it? Because his neediness eliminated the space that allows attraction to grow. When something is always available, it's taken for granted. And when there's no challenge, no curiosity, no unpredictability, passion fades into routine. If Ben continued down this path, his relationship would become monotonous. The spark would fizzle out, and his girlfriend, feeling suffocated, might pull away completely. Worse, he'd lose himself in the process, forgetting his own ambitions, interests, and personal growth. One night, over drinks, Ben confided in his friend, one of those people who just got relationships. The friend leaned back and said, "Look, man, a little mystery goes a long way. Women don't want a guy who's just there 24/7. They want a man with his own life, his own energy, someone who adds excitement, not just comfort." That was a wake-up call. Ben realized that love isn't about always being there. It's about being missed, desired, and unpredictable in the right way. Ben decided to make a change. Instead of always texting first, he sometimes let her reach out. Instead of planning every date, he left some things to spontaneity. He started focusing on his own goals, hitting the gym, picking up new hobbies, and hanging out with friends without always inviting her along. And suddenly, something crazy happened. She became more engaged. She started texting first. She was excited about their time together again. By creating space and bringing a little bit of unpredictability into the relationship, Ben rekindled the spark that had been fading. More importantly, he rediscovered himself in the process. My own journey was influenced by a mentor who always said, "A little mystery goes a long way." At first, I didn't get it. I thought being a great partner meant being always available. But I've seen this transformation not just in myself, but in countless friends. The moment they stopped chasing and started leading, living their own lives, keeping things fresh, their relationships improved. Attraction thrives on excitement, and sometimes the best way to keep her interested is to be just a little unpredictable. Mistake number 3. Trying too hard to impress. Meet Chris, a man who seemed to have it all. He had the career, the car, the stories of success. Every conversation with his girlfriend felt like a highlight reel of his accomplishments. Whether it was a dinner date or a casual chat, he made sure to subtly, or not so subtly, mention his promotions, his gym progress, or the influential people he knew. At first, his girlfriend admired his drive, but over time she noticed something strange. She didn't really know him. Every interaction felt like a performance, a carefully curated act rather than an open and honest connection. One night, after an extravagant dinner, she finally said, "You don't have to sell yourself to me. I'm already here." That hit him like a ton of bricks. What did Chris want? Chris wanted to be seen as the ideal boyfriend, confident, successful, and impressive. He believed that if he could project perfection, his girlfriend would admire him more, love him more, and never want to leave. Why couldn't he get it? Because he was trying too hard to impress instead of allowing himself to be genuinely known. The more he put on a show, the more distant he became. His girlfriend wasn't falling for him. She was falling for the polished image he had created. If Chris continued this way, his relationship would become shallow and exhausting. Without authenticity, real intimacy was impossible. His girlfriend would eventually feel disconnected and emotionally distant, because how can you love someone you don't truly know? Even worse, Chris himself would feel trapped, constantly maintaining a facade instead of just being himself. And that's a lonely way to love. One day, while venting to an older mentor about his relationship struggles, Chris heard something that changed his perspective forever. His mentor leaned in and said, "You think confidence is about being impressive. But real confidence, it's about being secure enough to let someone see the real you, flaws and all." Chris had spent so much time proving his worth that he had forgotten the most attractive trait of all: authenticity. Chris decided to let go of the act. Instead of flexing his achievements, he started sharing his real thoughts, real interests, and even real fears. Instead of talking at his girlfriend, he started listening to her. He let go of the pressure to be perfect and embraced just being present. And something incredible happened. His girlfriend felt closer to him. The more he revealed his true self, the more she trusted and connected with him. Because love isn't built on perfection. It's built on connection. Your greatest superpower is your authenticity. The enemy here isn't your partner. It's the toxic belief that you must always impress at all costs. There will always be people who believe that confidence means dominance, bragging, or showing off. Those are the anti-believers, people stuck in an outdated mindset that forces them to wear masks. But true confidence, it's the ability to stand in your truth, unfiltered, and say, "This is me, take it or leave it." And the right person will always choose to take it.